In the far north of England, in a quiet village framed by fog and willows, lay Windermere Lake, a mirror of silver where time seemed to slow. Each dawn, the same woman came walking down the mossy path with a loaf of bread wrapped in cloth. Her name was Evelyn Shaw, once a music teacher, now a widow who lived alone in the old brick house by the edge of the woods. And waiting for her, as faithfully as the sunrise, was a swan. Not one of the wild flock, but a single white bird with a gray scar across his wing. Evelyn had named him Arthur after her late husband. No one knew where Arthur had come from. He had appeared on the lake one autumn evening, wounded and limping, and Evelyn had spent weeks nursing him back to health, bringing warm water, gentle words, and old piano tunes that drifted through the fog. When he recovered, she tried to let him go, but he never left. Through winter snow and spring bloom, Evelyn and Arthur kept their routine. He would glide to her dock at the sound of her footsteps. She would scatter crumbs, hum softly, and talk to him about her day, about her loneliness, her late husband, the world that seemed to have grown smaller since he was gone. Arthur listened. Sometimes he'd tilt his head, or brush her hand with his beak as if to say, "I'm still here." The villagers began to call her the Swan Keeper. To Evelyn, it was more than a title, it was a purpose. One night, a violent storm tore across the lake. Wind screamed, trees bent, and rain shattered against Evelyn's windows. At dawn, when the world was still gray and broken, she ran to the dock, and Arthur was gone. She searched for hours, calling his name through the fog, her boots sinking into the muddy shore. For the first time in years, she felt utterly alone again. Days passed, the lake grew still, the sky cleared, but no sign of him. Then, one morning, she woke to a faint sound, a splash. She rushed outside, heart hammering. There he was. Arthur, battered but alive, standing at the dock with a few feathers missing, and behind him, gliding gracefully across the lake, was a younger swan. Evelyn knelt, tears streaming, and whispered, "You brought her home." Arthur dipped his head, as if nodding. From that day on, the two swans came together every morning. And Evelyn, for the first time in many years, felt peace. As the seasons turned again, Evelyn's hair grew white, her steps slower. One winter morning, she didn't come to the dock. The neighbors found her in her chair, her old piano playing faintly in the background. Outside, the two swans floated close together on the frozen lake, still waiting by her dock.